Saeeda Shah is one of the leading academics in the field of education leadership. She's currently working at the University of Leicester, teaching and supervising Masters and Doctoral students and contributing to other professional development programs. Besides multiple roles and responsibilities, she's also the program leader for the MSc Educational Leadership, which is the largest distance learning program in the School of Education. She is a visiting professor at the University of Derby and a fellow of the Higher Education Academy. Dr. Shah has been working in higher education in Pakistan and in the UK for about 3 decades and has published extensively. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Saeeda Shah.
It's a pleasure to be here, discussing, interacting with colleagues. And I mean students as well, because I see them as colleagues of tomorrow. I was asked to speak in the context of changing education, with a specific focus on educational leadership, innovation, and development, and then linking that to instructional leadership for school improvement. So in that context, I put together some concepts, ideas, thoughts in the form of PowerPoints that you will see, but I will not strictly go by each slide. You will, at the end of the session, you will receive a handout of the slides so you can later think over them. I might skip some slides depending on the time. That's why I'm just letting you know in advance what I'll be doing. I might explain some slides in more detail. Some areas depicted in the slides are more academic, so probably I might skip depending, because I wasn't sure what sort of audience it will be. So it is quite a wide mix of audience. So probably some slides will not be relevant for everyone. So we'll talk in that context. And I have been introduced to you. I have a sort of very diverse experience of work myself in different countries, different contexts, and different areas. And this is an interesting opportunity for me to talk about leadership in the context of a changing world. So basically, the theme is around 3 specific contexts, which is changing education, leadership and innovation and development, and instructional leadership. So just try to imagine, what will be the world tomorrow? What will be the needs of the people of tomorrow and the children of tomorrow? What sort of schools we will have tomorrow? And how will we lead those schools? I'm just raising questions. I want people to think, because I think people have got huge potential of achieving things, of finding solutions, if we present the issues to them and try to engage them with those issues. And that is what, in my view, is the role of leadership. And as I said earlier, leadership is not, in my concept, is not that sort of structural leadership. It is at every level. Everyone, even the students who are working in a group, some of them are leading that. So they are acting as leaders. And that is the leadership role. When you are, and within, you see, we have, I again keep referring again and again to Islamic philosophy, because I have been brought up in that philosophy with a very intensive knowledge of Islamic philosophy. You see, within the Islamic concept, if 2 people go on a journey, they are advised to select one as leader who knows the way better, so that you go the right way. And that is the leadership in any context. And it's not fixed that once a person becomes a leader, that person is leader for everything. No, people have limited capacities. Everyone has limited capacity, whether that is people standing here or people sitting there. But we have also our specialist areas, our expertise areas, where we can help others think, we can collaborate with them to find better solutions, to make improvements, and that links with development and innovation, adding value to things. So actually, I'm putting questions to you rather than sort of giving answers, because nobody has got final answers. It's an exercise of thinking and trying to find solutions for your own situations. And in that situation, it is the changing context, because the world is changing socially, economically, the whole economic world is changing, the whole employment market is changing, the world is becoming more global, and obviously education is no longer, and educational structures are no longer limited within even the country context or regional context. And that has changed the needs of the learners also. How many of your students that you are teaching in a classroom today, where will be they tomorrow working? Where? Where will be their employability? Where will be they socially located? We don't know, because this is such high mobility world and such accelerated change world that we know nothing where these students will be. We can just imagine that world. And what we can possibly do is to give them the best possible tools that we can together think about. And that is developing their own potentials, their own skills, their own abilities. I don't strongly believe in giving content because content becomes outdated. I believe in giving people skills in developing their own abilities, because human mind has huge potential. You see, when again, I hope you don't mind my referring back again and again to Islamic philosophy, but human mind is the best thing created in the world, and it has the highest potential to achieve things. And our role as teachers is not to be authoritarian teachers. Our role is just helping students to achieve their own potential so that they can achieve what has been gifted to them by the Creator. And that changes our role as educational leaders. Right. We all know what are the changing forces. I am going to skip. An interesting sort of analogy that is that people have got potential, it's there. What we can do is make them realize that potential and achieve the best. And that is, think of, can a caterpillar fly? That is an interesting analogy. And what we mean by leadership and by developing potential in people, in the teachers, among the students, among all those is changing the educational organizations in a way that they give everyone this ability to achieve the highest. They should learn to fly. It's everyone's right. And that is our responsibility as teachers. I know that there is huge resistance to change because it takes you to very insecure zones. Change is a very insecure zone, a very challenging zone. It makes people stressed. And that is where collaboration becomes very important. If you introduce change through a team effort, through engaging people, if you see leadership as helping others, as developing others, and engage them and give them ownership of change, that it's not the sort of structural leadership imposing change, but it is the visional leadership bringing you all together to generate change and take ownership of that change, then it can be an exciting, enjoyable activity. People are afraid of change when it is imposed, but it can be a very exciting activity when they think that they are part of it, that they have ownership over it, that they can modify it, that they can make it fit their own context, that they can change the change itself to suit their own needs and contexts. Obviously, there are issues like resources, like infrastructure, and some colleagues were talking to me about sort of what's being accomplished in certain parts of the world, Western developed world. we can't just go on the route of copying people. That doesn't work. And that's not leadership. Leadership is not, I know, I mean, from personal experience and visiting institutions here in Pakistan about a decade ago, that people would just sort of, when this whole computer hype started, people started buying computers for institutions. And there were many institutions in many cities where computers were just locked in the computer labs. No, that is not change. And as a colleague earlier said, that technology is not to be used for itself. You have to find out ways how that can be used to achieve the purpose. And what is the purpose? Enhancing learning. Everyone's, not just students, our own as well. We have to enhance our learning as well. Otherwise, we will become outdated, and tomorrow's student is going to be very, very aware student. So we have to constantly keep updating our own knowledge as well. So we are all learners jointly. So when we talk about leadership and the changing educational context, obviously some people have more opportunities to develop vision. Obviously human beings are different. Although everyone has potential, they have different exposures, they have different engagements. So when people develop vision, then that is the leadership role to share that through communication, through negotiation, about those collective goals. So we need to establish what our goals are, where we want to go. Do we just want, for example, bachelor graduates here in Pakistan? Then we need to think, what is the aim of giving people that graduation degree? What is it enabling them? Is it making them better citizens? Is it opening job opportunities for them? Is it enabling them to achieve something in life? If not, what is the purpose of that bachelor's degree? What's the purpose of that investment in there? We just follow the route, follow people who are something which is happening somewhere in the world. We'll say, yeah, let's bring it here and do it. We need to stop and think how it fits in within our own needs and contexts, and how it will contribute to developing our own society and individuals. The individual as well as collective development. And if, when you are working in that collaborative context, if you are positioned as a leader, if you feel that you have the responsibility, it is a very, very serious responsibility. Because being positioned as a leader is not an easy thing to handle. It means that you are not only responsible for your own self, you are responsible for your team as well, for what you are delivering for that as well. And that is what makes the whole difference, the accountability, the responsibility that makes the difference between the leaders and the led. We will perhaps discuss this in more detail in distributed leadership's workshop that we are having later today. So I'm not going in much detail into how to balance that, but we just need to keep in mind that leadership, we need to come out of this concept of fixed leadership or somebody being fixed in a leadership position.